and spend management for a changing world.
When the winter hits, you have to fight back. That's why truck guys know the best defense is WeatherTech. Laser-measured floor liners protect the carpet. The underseat storage system keeps tools organized. TechLiner protects the bed. Bump Step guards the bumper from minor damage. While Cup Phone secures your phone. Don't let winter win. Go to WeatherTech.com and order today.
And it's NBA on ESPN time. I'm ready. Let it go. Behind make the block where the leg go. Hey, then it's K's Club. You looking at the grave with the say so.
Friday on ESPN.
The Pac-12 champion Utes and the Buckeyes collide in the granddaddy of them all. The Rose Bowl game presented by Capital One Venture X. Today at 5 on ESPN.
Recharge my brain. I fall asleep to the sound of falling rain. You need to let your Z's increase to put your mind at peace. Because greatness lies on the other side of sleep.
Time to make your space a little more you. And a little less, well, definitely not you. Joybird.com gives you over 18,000 ways to customize your furniture and make your space your own. With fun colors, bold styles, and modern designs that bring joy to your space. Go to Joybird.com to save 30% during our After Christmas sale. Plus, get free design specialist styling.
When you pay with Credit Karma Money, you could win Instant Karma, which makes your purchase free.
Got it for free with Instant Karma.
Are your feet on this?
Got it for free with Instant Karma. We know.
Instant Karma, only from Credit Karma Money.
Get your bowl on today, Randolph. Randolph. You've been gone. I forgot how to say your name.
That's fine.
5 New Year's Day bowl games, starting with Penn State and Arkansas at noon Eastern. The Nittany Lions have lost 4 straight to AP-ranked teams. It'll be the Razorbacks' first bowl appearance, though, since 2016. Number 15, Iowa is taking on number 22. That would be Kentucky in the Verbo Citrus Bowl. Each team has won 3 straight bowl games, which is tied for their longest bowl win streaks in program history. The Wildcats are favored by 3 in this one. The PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. It's Oklahoma State against Notre Dame. With the win, the Cowboys will have a 12-win season for just the second time in program history. And the Irish are, well, they're 0-7 all-time in New Year's 6 bowls. At 5 Eastern, Utah, Ohio State, the Rose Bowl. It's the second ever meeting between these two teams. The first was back in 1986 when the Buckeyes won a lot to a little. It was 64-6. It remains the largest loss in 50 seasons for Utah. And do not miss the top 10 matchup between Baylor and Ole Miss. And the Rebels are making their 10th Sugar Bowl appearance, the 4th ever team to do so. Meanwhile, Baylor is after its first 12-win season in program history. So if you're checking out the standings for the Progressive Bowl Challenge standings, like the SEC is going to reign supreme, at least on the top when it comes to the big games. But so far, the rest of the conference has struggled. They're 3-5 so far this bowl season. If today goes right, they could be 6-5. No one, though, is catching the Mountain West because they went 5-1 in their 6 bowl games.
Yeah, they went 5-1 in the Mountain West. They don't wake up to headlines like this, though. Like the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Sweet Indy, here we come. 1 down, 1 to go, and then they run through all the scores and all the vanquished for the Georgia Bulldogs, who have advanced to the College Football Playoff National Title game. Thanks to quarterback Stetson Bennett. Here's his OC.
There's no doubt in my mind we can win the national championship, and we have there's no doubt in my mind we can win it with Stetson Bennett.
He wasn't wrong. Stetson Bennett would back up the words of Todd Monken. How about first quarter? We're in a short passing game, and it helps when you have a tight end in Brock Bowers, who, again, was not a Todd Mackey Award finalist or even semi-finalist, which makes no sense for one of the most talented tight ends in all of football. He would score the first touchdown with Bowers. Bennett also a little dump off to James Cook. So here's the thing. Bennett, 6 of 6, 32 yards, and a touchdown on throws at or behind the line of scrimmage in the first quarter, and then he can air it out. Maybe you do one thing to enable yourself to take shots down the field and do the other, but he finds Cook one-on-one with a linebacker advantage. Cook, 53 yards. He had 4 grabs, 112 yards. And then Bennett, deep ball to Jermaine Burton. That's 57 yards. And another house call, so 3 of 3, 145 yards and a touchdown for Bennett on passes 20 or more yards downfield in the first half alone. And then the Georgia defense made things problematic. for the opposing quarterback and Cade McNamara. They harassed this young man all night. McNamara, who came into this thing, only 4 interceptions on his season. He would have 2 in this game, one of them there, Georgia, finishing the night 4 sacks, 3 turnovers, 34-11, on to the national championship. And it's great to have Robert Griffin III with us on SportsCenter AM. And Robert, as good as that Georgia defense looked, it was Stetson Bennett who stole the show. Arguably the best game of his career, really, in that win. What specifically, though, stood out to you about his performance?
Yes, Stetson Bennett didn't just play like a guy. He played like he could be the guy, and a big reason that Georgia could win a national championship. For me, he did a nice job bouncing back from the SEC championship game where he only had about 3 or 4 bad plays, but he did get ridiculed a lot by a lot of people, and he came out there and he just executed to perfection. Took what the defense gave him. When nothing was there, he used his feet, got out in the open field, and got jiggy with it. It was a very impressive display. You could see the confidence just oozing from his face throughout the entire game, and he really showed some people that he's not just a guy. He's not just a guy that, hey, that he's going to have to ride the coattails of this defense to win the national championship, that he can actually go out and make plays. And boy, was it a beautiful thing to see. It's
good to get a Will Smith reference when we're talking about a game that was played in where? Miami. So that makes a lot of sense. Let's go to the game, though, that's going to be played in Indy now, and it's Georgia against Alabama. It's round 2, this time for a national championship. What's going to be the biggest catalyst in your eyes in deciding this game?
Yeah, the biggest catalyst is going to be Georgia's defense. Georgia's defense didn't show up in the SEC championship game. Alabama threw the ball every which way they possibly could. They couldn't contain Bryce Young. And if they don't show up in this national championship game, it's going to be more of the same. They're going to have to cage rush Bryce Young to keep him in the pocket. And obviously, they're going to have to keep Jamison Williams from getting those big plays down the field. But the way that Georgia's defense looked playing against Michigan, Nakobe Dean, Jordan Davis, Darren Kendrick, they looked unstoppable just like they did all season long. People have to remember, Georgia was the best team in the country until they ran into Alabama in that SEC championship game. And if they show up on defense like they did this past week against Michigan, man oh man, Stetson Bennett, Zaire Smith, James Cook, these guys are going to be able to go out and put up not only just enough points, but they'll be able to be dominant like we saw them be against Michigan. That team was one of the best teams in the country, if not the best team in the country yesterday.
And listen, that loss to Alabama that you mentioned, that was the only time this season where that Georgia defense allowed more than 17 points. That's Robert Griffin III on this New Year's Day.
Coming up, DeMar DeRozan plays for the Bulls, and now he's trying to play like Mike as well. Where does that play land on the list from 10 to 1? You're going to find out next.
Can I ask you a question? Am I out of focus?
You're fine.
Yeah, but I'm all blurry.
Well, you're supporting cast.
What?
The camera's focus is drawing the audience's attention to this scene's most important character, me.
So by shifting the focus, now you're blurry and I'm sharp.
It appears so.
Guess that makes me more important than you.
No, it doesn't.
On my travels across the country, I came across this house with water dripping from the ceiling. You never know when something like this will happen. So let the Geico Insurance Agency help you with homeowners insurance and protect yourself from things like fire, theft, or in this case, water damage. Now, if I had to guess, I'd say somewhere upstairs there's a broken pipe.
Geico. Save even more when you bundle home and car insurance at geico.com.
Aleve X. It's fast, powerful, long-lasting relief with a revolutionary rollerball design. Because with the right pain reliever, life opens up. Aleve it and see what's possible.
So, I'm watching Cinderella on Prime Video. Oh, I love that dress. Ooh, and that one. When all the style is in one place, entertainment never ends. See where it takes you. Prime Video.
'Tis the season to break tradition in a Cadillac. Don't just put on a light show, be the light show. Make your nights anything but silent. And ride in a sleigh that really slays. Because in a Cadillac, tradition is yours to define. So visit a Cadillac showroom and start celebrating today.
now. Only one movie will give theater audiences something to shout about. Come on. The King's Man, rated R, now playing only in theaters.
Introducing the Grubhub Guarantee. Our promise to deliver the food you love on time and give you the lowest price. Or you'll get $5 off your next order.
46 pounds. Gone, baby. Gone. I did it with Nutrisystem for men. How about big, hearty meals that taste great and fill you up with up to 30 grams of protein? Check out Dan back to his playing weight, Marino.
I'm back, baby. I lost 26 pounds, and I feel great.
Take it from the Swami. Nutrisystem for men works.
Hurry, this deal won't last. Go online or call to get 50% off.
Everybody sees the success. Nobody's mind really goes to what it took to be successful. As an athlete and as a coach, I work out every single day. I wear UFOs because it provides recovery, and once you try them, you'll never wear another slide a day in your life. They are seriously life-changing footwear.
I got this mountain bike for only $11.
DealDash.com, the fair and honest bidding site. This KitchenAid mixer sold for less than $26. This iPad sold for less than $43. And this PlayStation 5 sold for less than $1.
I won these Bluetooth headphones for $20.
I got these 3 suitcases for less than $40. And shipping is always free.
Go to DealDash.com right now and see how much you can save.
Briscoe and Scott with you at SportsCenter AM on this New Year's Day. How about the first Winter Classic coming up tonight, held in Minneapolis, Minnesota? It's not the first Winter Classic.
One there.
It's just the first one there. It's at 7 p.m. Eastern. St. Louis Blues play Gloria, facing off against the Minnesota Wild at Target Field. Look at that. The ice rink is there. Wild have already rolled their equipment in. The Blues got to go ahead and visit the new barn here recently. Twin Cities' lovely visage, which should be a nice Winter Classic tonight.
Time now for the Saturday slate, and tonight we're going to have the All-State Sugar Bowl between Ole Miss and Baylor. All eyes are going to be on projected first-round pick and quarterback Matt Corral, who was just one of 5 players this season with 20 passing touchdowns and 10 rushing touchdowns. Then at 5 Eastern, the granddaddy of them all, Pasadena, it's Ohio State and Utah facing off in the Rose Bowl. The Buckeyes, they're obviously no stranger to this game. They're making their 16th appearance in the Rose Bowl. Utah, though, there for the very first time. And then at 1 Eastern on ESPN, the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl between Notre Dame and Oklahoma State for the Irish. It's a new era as Marcus Freeman is going to take over as head coach and coach in his first game. And his first objective is to get rid of that big goose egg, because to this point, Notre Dame has been 0-7 in BCS and New Year's 6 bowl games. So how should you bet these games? He'll be your Doug.
Happy New Year. Welcome to the set of Daily Wager here on the Las Vegas Strip. He is Joe Fortenbaugh. I am Doug Kazarian as we ring in 2022 with even more football. Start us off.
Utah plus the 4 in the Rose Bowl. Put a little on the money line as well. This team is coming in red hot. They won 9 of their final 10 games, and this is their first Rose Bowl appearance. So you know they're going to be fired up to get it done against an Ohio State team that, look, they rank number 1 in the country in scoring and yards per play, but that ain't the offense that's showing up here.
Right.
No Chris Olave, no Garrett Wilson. One of the starting offensive tackles, one of the starting defensive linemen have all opted out. Utah gets it done in the Rose Bowl.
And the defense has been shaky all year. All right, let's go across the country, bring in Stanford Steve with his favorite play on New Year's Day.
When I look at the slate of games on Saturday, it reminds me every year. We always get these SEC Big Ten games early, whether it's the Outback Bowl or the Citrus Bowl. And every year, a Big Ten team hangs around with an SEC team that I did not see coming. And this year, I think it's Iowa. The line really doesn't make any sense to me. And it's really hard, I know, for people to get out of their head what they saw in Iowa the last time out when they got housed by Michigan. But we're going to take Iowa plus the points versus Kentucky.
All right, you guys are each on a couple underdogs. I'm going to go with a short favorite and Notre Dame. Now, we wonder about effort and who's going to show up in bowl games. Well, I have no doubt the Irish are going to show up. Why? Because of their new head coach. Look at this video from a little bit ago when they announced that Marcus Freeman, the defensive coordinator, would replace Brian Kelly. This team's going to run through a brick wall for this guy. No doubt that the Irish will be there, and they're very talented. The question is Oklahoma State, which had a college football playoff berth within their grasp, couldn't punch it in, numerous chances around the goal line. I just don't know if they're going to be excited to be there. Irish are obviously a big name, but I don't know if I trust the Pokes, even effort-wise, but even skill-wise as well. Let's send it back to SportsCenter.
Thanks, guys. Here's your reminder. The national championship game is coming up. January the 10th between those two teams, Georgia and Alabama, who played each other less than a month ago, December the 4th. Bama was the 6-point dog in this one. Remember what Bryce Young did? How about this over the middle to Jamison Williams, who then took it 67 yards for a touchdown. It had been 10-0. That's how Bama made it 10-7. And then John Mechie, after a punt, Alabama got the ball back. Mechie with final touchdown of the season. We'll remind you why in just a second, but that made it a 14-10 Bama lead. 3 to go in the half. You had Georgia down 17-10. Stetson Bennett to Ladd McConkey. McConkey, though, in 32 yards for the score. So Georgia was fighting back for a while. They tied it up at 17. Then came Bama. 2nd and 10. Young under pressure. Runs for the first down, but a little bit of a mistake. He fumbles it. Does recover it. And I told you I was going to remind you what happened to Mechie. Remember, Mechie went out with a torn ACL, done for the season. In the third, Bama leading 24-17. Young has all the time in the world, and Williams has all the space he needs to get to the end zone for a 55-yard touchdown. He had a huge game, 7 catches, 184 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Young threw for 421 and 3. Meanwhile, Bennett was thrown to the wrong team, picked off by Jordan Battle here in one of his 2 picks. Battle, though, took that back for the pick 6, and that's how Bama beat Georgia. Georgia's first and only loss of the season. The final score there was 41-24. And remember, we will see them for the national championship game on Monday, January 10th, when they meet again. Georgia, though, right now 2.5-point favorite over Alabama in that title game. Now, keep in mind, since the BCS college football poll era began, which was a while ago, back in 1998, only 3 previous title games closed with a spread of under 3 points. That last happened in 2012 when it was Bama, 1.5-point favorite over LSU.
Ivan, the top 2 teams left in college football. How about now to the top 10 plays from the final day of the year that shall not be named. Number 10, Alice Lloyd in Eastern Kentucky. Coming up with the basketball somehow is Michael Wardy. And then it's just his world, and we're living it. He goes windmill. Sort of a Don Quixote situation. Am I right? Cervantes.
What is worse, 2021 or Voldemort?
Say that one more time.
What's worse, 2021 or Voldemort?
We don't say his name, so I don't know what you're talking
about.
Got it.
Jade Schroeder, you get to say her name, loses it, recovers, and then still beats the clock. And then, speaking of beating, Texas A&M Kingsville beat the number 1 team in D2 basketball. It was 59-42, the final.
You're saying the man's name. Classic Hufflepuff move on your part. Number 8, to the Orange Bowl. Look at the pick from Darion Kendrick. What?
Wait, Cedric Hufflepuff?
What? Cedric?
Too soon. Cedric Diggory is a Hufflepuff.
It is Cedric Diggory, but I don't know that he was a Hufflepuff.
He is, isn't he? At number 7, Cavs and Hawks. How many times have we seen this?
different thing. To have it back in the setting where it needs to be is sort of a return to college football normalcy, and we expect a great game here. What we did not get was great games in the college football playoff semifinals, at least not competitive ones. Last night in the Capital One Orange Bowl, Georgia and Michigan, first possession, and the Dogs come out, and they came out irritated. Stetson Bennett finds Brock Bowers.
Yeah, this Georgia team, we wondered after the loss to Alabama, were they vulnerable? And they showed us in the very first series, they came with a purpose. They were on a mission. This set the tone for a big night for the Dogs right here on that drive.
That QB did all right. That's a
minute. Yeah, that 13. Your fans going to like him.
Yeah. Let's leave him in the game. This was a really big play on the Michigan's first possession, 4th and 4. They didn't complete the pass.
I thought it was a great play call, just poor execution. The receiver was open, but he missed the throw.
How about Todd Monken just calling everything right? One step
double
ahead.
Passes. I saw you guys do this in the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah, one step ahead of Michigan's defense, which has been great all year. They're up 14 in the blink of an eye.
And this is a big one right before the half because Michigan had a chance to get the ball after the half and maybe make this a game, and Stetson with pressure in his face.
Yeah,
I'm looking at Gray, the defensive back, like, why did you stop? Like, they did some inexplicable things last night.
I just don't think he realized the ball was in the air. Just kind of gave up on the play. Receivers did that a couple times as well.
Exactly. Yeah. And James Cook, who grew up about 10 miles from the stadium on the receiving end from Stetson Bennett. Bennett went over 300 yards against that Michigan defense. They were able to protect him from Aiden Hutchinson, David Ojabo, and yes, indeed, we'll see y'all in Indy. Darian Kendrick, who had a couple of interceptions, who's the defensive MVP, holding up what was left of the Oranges. Even before the trophy ceremony, Stetson and Kirby Smart started pitching them out into the crowd. I told him, I said, save a little bit, save a few, so that everybody can watch you throw them. Stetson probably completed every orange he threw, too, because he was 20 of 30, threw 3 touchdown passes. Dogs going to the championship game. Here's Kirby Smart.
I'm so happy for these kids. They fought their tail off, answer a million questions about our team, bouncing back and how you play. We got a lot of high-character guys on this team, and they played their tail off today.
Great season. Really proud of our guys. Even with the score lopsided, still they were having fun fighting, and I was right next to them. But it wasn't our night. They were the better team tonight.
We knew we were better than what we showed last game, and we just came and worked every single day. And I love these dudes, man. God, I love them. God, what a win. What a win. Go Dogs.
I wanted to talk back into you had the confetti
hair,
in your. I was trying to say, Billy Bonnell, tell him he's got confetti. Senator Davis should not have hair.
It didn't even matter. I mean, when I was interviewing Kirby Smart, we were getting a deluge of the confetti right there. I thought it captured the moment a little. It did. A little color in there for sure. Look at Kirby Smart, and they've got Alabama next, and that has been the one mountain Georgia has not been able to climb. It is something that has been the bugaboo for Kirby Smart. They've had double-digit leads in 3 of the 4 losses, but they haven't been able to hang on to them. There's enough time to talk about that game coming up. But the Georgia performance last night against a really good Michigan team. Full disclosure, Desmond, I thought Michigan was going to win the game.
Yeah.
And I certainly thought it would be closer than it was. It was just a brilliant performance by Georgia.
It really was, and they set the tone right out the gate. They moved the ball down the field. Stetson Bennett was very accurate. They attacked the outside edges of Michigan's defense, and then they would start to run in the box, and they just had a brilliant game plan offensively. Defensively, I thought that they played extremely well. They were so fast. Standing on the field and watching these guys, they're big and athletic, much bigger and athletic than Michigan. They were swarming Michigan's offense. So, like Coach Harbaugh said, they were the better team.
And I think, I think what we saw, this is what happens, right? We're prisoner of the moments. What you saw Georgia against Alabama was not what we saw all year from Georgia and not what we think of Georgia. And by the way, what we saw from Alabama, that's not what we saw from Alabama all year. They played great. Georgia didn't. I think this was a little bit of obviously returning to the – and listen, here's the deal. With Georgia, we know they're going to play great defense. We know you got to pass to beat them. And if Stetson Bennett plays really good, they're almost impossible to beat. If that offense plays great, that team's not losing to anybody. So, obviously, Alabama game is still in their mouth, and they're going to have to deal with that for the next 10 days or whatever. Yeah. But last night was a great night for Georgia.
It played with a team with a second life. They looked like, you get beat sometimes, and it can divide you, and other times it can motivate you and recalibrate, and it clearly did that for Georgia. It's one thing to have just bigger and better athletes, But it's another thing to be prepared. Kirby Smart and his coordinators, Todd Monken on offense, and Dan Lanning, who has taken the Oregon head job, putting a staff together, trying to deal with early signing period, and also put a plan together to beat Michigan. Did an incredible job. So that was a well-prepared, angry football team that was on a mission, and they're better physically. So it was the field was slanted the entire game. There was not much Michigan could do.
You know, it's interesting. You put that graphic up there, or not you, but we put that graphic up there. Senator Davis put that graphic up there. But Kirby's now been to a national title already once, now going back for the second time. Won a Rose Bowl, won a Sugar Bowl, won an Orange Bowl, won an SEC championship. So we can look at the other stuff too. He's just hey, you know what he's doing?
He's living in the need to balance that out. Huh?
Well, he's living in Nick Saban's world just like everybody else is. Like Nick Saban in Alabama's been dominating everybody. Right. He's just got to go through him every year.
Yeah, exactly.
The one guy that really just summed it up to me was Kobe Dean. You know, the quarterback of the defense and the spiritual leader, much like Aiden Hutchinson is for Michigan. Yeah. That's when Kobe Dean is for Georgia. Just watching him play and making sure everybody was right, running sideline to sideline, and just in charge of it all, and making sure that that defense was ready to roll after that Bama game.
You talked about how good they are athletically, how big, how strong they are, how prepared they were for that game, and then we're going to move the turn.